First of all, China's rise is inevitable. No one can stop it. The United States cannot stop it. That's the mega trend. Secondly, this trade war launched by President Trump and his government against the whole world, including China, is the wrong war. And it's not constructive. It throws all the rules of the game out of the window. It damages the free trade. And while different countries need to come up with strategies, how do they want to deal with the United States in this manhandling of mankind, China has decided to rise up to the occasion and strongly defend the free trade. China will fight to the end, as the government has declared, and China has now imposed the retaliatory tariff up to 125% against all U.S. exports to China.
Why is America suddenly scrambling for EV minerals? Because Brazil, once a key supplier to the U.S., just made a shocking move, ditching the U.S. and striking a surprise deal with China. Shipments that once sailed to American ports are now docking in China. U.S. factories are left scrambling. This isn't just a minor shift, it's a tariff-dodging shakeup that's flipping the EV market on its head. For years, the U.S. counted on Brazil for thousands of tons of battery minerals, lithium, nickel, and more, worth hundreds of millions. Those minerals powered millions of American electric vehicles. China, they used to get a smaller slice of the pie. Now, China's locked in a massive deal. They're taking the bulk while America is left picking up scraps. What sparked this? U.S. tariffs. Charges slapped on Brazilian goods pushed Brazil to look elsewhere. Behind closed doors, deals were struck. Quiet negotiations, kept under wraps, flipped the trade balance. Now, electric vehicle prices in the U.S. are climbing. Thousands of American jobs are on the line. Meanwhile, China's EV factories are humming, powered by Brazil's minerals. This is more than trade. It's a power shift. From Brazilian mines to Chinese assembly lines, a new trade route is forming, driven by big money and bigger strategies. But why did Brazil pivot so fast? Tariffs played a role, but the story goes deeper. Brazil's mining industry is booming. Production is way up, pulling thousands of tons of key minerals, enough for millions of EVs every year. Billions in new tech and upgrades have supercharged Brazil's output. Their exports are worth over $1 billion, with most shipments headed overseas. The U.S. used to be a major buyer. Now, China takes the lion's share. Why? Brazil's minerals are cheaper, saving China millions. Their billion-dollar deal locks in supply for years. Europe's still buying, but at a much smaller scale. At Brazil's ports, revamped with heavy investment, minerals now flow to China faster than ever. More funds are pouring in. More output is on the way. This isn't just good business for Brazil. It's a transformation. Mining jobs are rising. Towns are growing. Brazil's mineral boom is lifting communities and tipping global trade. But it's China's strategy that really stands out. They're not just building more electric cars, they're securing the raw power behind them. Brazil's minerals are now at the heart of China's EV machine. This is no fluke. Brazil's low-cost minerals cut China's expenses. Long-standing trade ties paved the way. A billion-dollar pact sealed the shift. The U.S., once a top buyer, now gets barely a fraction. That's hundreds of millions lost. Europe can't compete either. China isn't just buying minerals, they're investing deep. Ports, railways, and infrastructure projects, all funded by China, are speeding up Brazil's exports. The supply is tied up for years. Meanwhile, U.S. companies are scrambling. Costs are rising. Factories are slowing. And America's EV future is suddenly in question. How did China move so fast? Because they've been planning this for years. Trade deals, long-term investments, infrastructure funding. This isn't just supply and demand, it's strategy. And the U.S.? It's in a bind. Minerals that once powered America's EVs are gone, rerouted to China. Production slows, car prices climb. That $50,000 EV now costs way more. And as fuel markets get rattled, gas prices just hit $5, up from $4. Fallout? It's painful. Sourcing minerals elsewhere costs hundreds of millions. Factories cut jobs, thousands gone in states like Michigan. Rising transport costs hit every sector. Grocery prices, heating bills, everyday life just got more expensive. Brazil's minerals weren't just supplies, they were a lifeline. And now, they're gone. Why? Because US tariffs made Brazilian minerals too pricey for American buyers. China, facing no such fees, offered a better deal. Brazil took it. US mineral imports from Brazil crashed. Hundreds of millions lost. Meanwhile, China's deal locked in the majority of the supply. In return, Brazil hit back, taxing US goods. Ports once focused on America now shipped to China. This wasn't random. It was a reaction. The tariffs were meant to protect US trade. Instead, they drove Brazil away and opened the door to China. And China didn't hesitate. Their offers boosted Brazil's profits. America's numbers sank. Brazil's economy got a lift. Ports got upgrades. Towns got jobs. And still, one big question lingers. Were these talks kept secret for a reason? Because tariffs don't just raise costs, they change the rules. They move markets. Brazil's pivot proves it. And China's deal hints at something even bigger. A global EV race is underway, and China's winning. Brazil's minerals now power a huge chunk of China's battery production. Their assembly lines churn out millions of electric vehicles yearly. US factories, meanwhile, are falling behind. With fewer minerals, production stalls, costs rise, job cuts spread. China, they're locked in for years. Europe can't keep up. America's scrambling for alternatives. And while the US still trades with Brazil, its share is now just a sliver. China's long-term contracts dominate the flow. This wasn't luck. It was design. Thousands of Brazilian jobs now depend on Chinese deals. Chinese investments fund schools, roads, and local businesses in Brazil. Even Brazil's currency is getting a boost. The shift is real. The gains are big. And the US is losing ground. Can America catch up? Maybe, but it won't be easy. New US mines could help, but they'll take years to develop. Cutting tariffs might ease tensions, but that's a political fight. China's deal has Brazil locked in tight. Other suppliers? They're out there, but they're more expensive and less reliable. The EV push in the US is slipping. Prices are climbing. Factories are struggling. And China's grip is tightening. This isn't just a trade shift. It's a warning. Brazil's minerals, once a backbone of US production, now power China's EV empire. And with Brazil's output expected to double soon, the US risks falling even further behind. Gas at $5 is already hitting hard. If the supply crunch continues, $6 isn't far off. The US needs a plan, fast. Because Brazil and China just flipped the EV world. And America's next move will decide if it catches up or crashes out. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.